If you've been on the streets protesting your old laptop chanting, "Hey, hey, ho, ho, this laptop's got to go," take a break because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know to buy a new laptop next year. With modern PC parts all so damn good, the hardest choice next year is what shape you want. There's a reason the traditional clamshell laptop has been around for decades. It just works for everyone, especially in your lap, and nothing has dethroned it. In 2016 though, we'll see even more 2-in-1s that work kinda like a laptop, but instantly turn into a tablet. These are a compromise and aren't great for laps, but for portability, they're hard to beat. The only thing that can beat a laptop at its game is the convertible. And that's why in 2016, we'll see even more of them. These function just as well as a laptop and can be converted into a so-called tablet mode by folding the screen back. What's right for you is up to you. Once you've picked your shape, you need to think about your CPU needs. Except for gamers or professional content creators, a dual core is plenty for 75% of us. Intel has so many models of chips though, even I get confused. At the top, Intel's premium chips are its Core i5 and Core i7s. They offer the best performance, and no surprise, they cost more too. Almost all Core i7 or Core i5 machines will use Intel's newest Skylake chip. It's simply faster and cooler than the older Broadwell, and there's no reason to buy the older chip unless it's a screaming deal. One step below is Core M3, Core M5, and Core M7. Core M is getting a bad rep for being slow, but it's undeserved. For normal use, you can't tell the difference, and they're far better than Intel's budget chips. Many are fanless and promise better battery life too. For budget chips, all you need to know is Pentium and Celerons with an N offer mediocre performance, but better battery life. Pentium and Celeron models with a Y or U give you better performance at the cost of battery life. Intel's super budget Atom X7 has super battery life and is a mediocre performer, but for basic computing and portability, they can't be beat. This year you'll see DDR4 being pushed. Is it better? Yes. Should you care? No. Instead, think about how much RAM your laptop will have. The truth is, 8 GB is all you need, with 4 GB being the absolute minimum. Any less is a crime, and any more a waste. One word of advice, in most ultra-thin laptops, RAM is permanent, so what you get on day one is all you'll ever have. Prices of SSDs have come down so much, just skip everything else unless you absolutely need the capacity. An SSD is so great, it can compensate for a slower CPU and too little RAM. You'll start to hear terms like M.2 NVMe, M.2 PCIe, and M.2 SATA. The fastest is M.2 NVMe, and then M.2 PCIe HCI, and finally M.2 SATA. For most people though, any will do. As long as you have an SSD of 128 GB or larger, you'll be fine. In 2016, you'll see even more high-resolution screens, including 4K panels in laptops. High-resolution screens are truly beautiful to gaze at, and Windows 10 has gone a long way toward fixing scaling problems, but for most folks, it's really not necessary. These days, 1920 by 1080 or 1080p is all you need. The last thing you'll see on far more PCs is touch and pen capability. Except for tablet uses, both are mostly luxury items, but they are great to have when you need to sign a document or just want to scroll using your hand. The minus is both add to the cost and use more power. That's it. Now get back to your street protest, and maybe, just maybe, your boss will let you finally buy that new laptop.